Welcome to Hornbill TV's top stories of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Al Nguli. It's been another exceedingly busy week, ladies and gentlemen. Lionel Messi in the MLS. Christians assaulted in Delhi. The murder of a worker at the interstate bus terminus in Dimapur. The resumption of the government of India and the NACNIM talks. And of course, probably the biggest of the newsmakers this week, ladies and gentlemen, India's successful lunar mission. So let's check them out and more other news in this program. After leading his country, Argentina, to its third FIFA World Cup title the previous year, Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest footballer of all time, shone again for Inter Miami. He scored twice, once before regulation time and another in a tense penalty shootout against Nashville SC to take his American team to their first ever trophy. That is the League's Cup, ladies and gentlemen. I think most of you have been tuned into the television sets as the Argentinian made history there in the United States. Messi continues his golden run in the United States football industry now. Not only did he score his 10th goal for the U.S. club in 7 matches, but also didn't lose a single match that he has featured in for the new club that he plays for. The goal that helped his club clinch his maiden league's title was Messi's 37th goal in a cup final in his career. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Messi is the greatest. Let's check out the other news. Attacks on religious minorities in India continues to be a fixture of our news space, our history, our national consciousness and conversations. A mob in Delhi attacked a Christian church and its members in Delhi's Tahirpur during a Sunday service on August 20th. According to an FIR by the police, the mob entered the church and assaulted the Christians with sticks, besides vandalizing the property, and they allegedly also tried to tear the Holy Bible. Reports also say some of the worshippers were even dragged out and beaten. In a video that was shared by Democracy News India, a person identifying himself as Pastor Satpal Pati is seen saying that members of the RSS and the Bajrang Dal entered the church and assaulted the members there, including women. On Tuesday, the police said they have arrested a person in connection with the attack. The victims have alleged that the attackers were members of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Bajrang Dal. While the attack was by a mob, only one person has been arrested so far. That is what we have for now. Hornbill TV had a conversation with NBCC leader Reverend Zelho Kiho about the attacks on Christians and other religious minorities in India a few days ago. You may check out the conversation on our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Security forces in Dimapur on Monday afternoon found ammunition and unexploded ordinances allegedly from the campus of Cornerstone Higher Secondary School. Reportedly, about 13 explosive ordinances were found. According to an official release, a team of the 11th Assam Rifles and police cordoned off the area. Villagers were advised not to venture inside the school campus, after which the area was searched using metal detectors. Army officials say the ordinances likely belong to what was reported as some unorganized or unrecognized underground group. Ladies and gentlemen, India's relations and foreign policy for China has also been dictated by the tensions at the border, and it has been so for a long time. This was the big one the previous week. Ladies and gentlemen, India and China have agreed not to build new posts in proximity with a line of actual control in eastern Ladakh, besides identifying specific limits for patrolling for these two sides. These decisions were agreed upon at a major general level talks at Dalal Beg Oldi and Chisholm. According to reports earlier, the two sides also decided not to increase troops along the LSC, besides refraining from violating airspace by using drones. That was the report, ladies and gentlemen. The violence in Manipur has ebbed to a great extent, but there are complex issues here coloring the political conversations in the state. Ladies and gentlemen, the conversations in Manipur have apparently begun to go beyond the Meitei and Kuki conflict as is being reported. So earlier, the United Naga Council declared its opposition to the creation of new districts in 2016. It declared that it was still in opposition and that position remains alive and unchanged. The UNC issued a statement saying that the bifurcation of two districts in Manipur was an issue virtually with the Kuki people only and not with the Zo people. The UNC called the Kuki-Zo people's representation to the center, Israeli Prime Minister, European Parliament, and the United Nations as a false territorial foundation and an attempt to fool authorities, because in the context of Manipur, the council said, the name Kuki was first heard sometime between 1830 and 1840. That's what the statement from the council said. The UNC stated that the name Kuki Hills that appeared in the fourth paragraph of the memorandum to the Prime Minister of Israel is non-existent and a utopian concussion. That's what the council said. The UNC also said that the British found the Kukis as a mercenary tribe. That was what the statement said, mercenary tribe, useful, and their total lack of attachment to any land was recognized by the British. Thus, it made them instrumental in crushing the indigenous communities of Manipur, the United Naga Council stated. Further, the UNC said that the attempt by the Kuki people in distorting history of the Kuki rebellion of 1917-1919 as Anglo-Kuki War to legitimize their imagined Kuki homeland in Naga ancestral lands was, the UNC said, a classical example of habitual lies. The council said that the Kuki rebellion was an episode of killing, arson, plundering, and enslaving women and children of indigenous Naga communities. Therefore, the council said in a statement, it was never a war, but a mere rebellion, as there is no record of any Anglo-Kuki war in the history of India. Nonetheless, the United Naga Council stated that nothing is too late to set the wrong things right. And so it continues, ladies and gentlemen. The Naga people, especially those in Nagaland, have come a long way. There has been too much blood and terror, and the talks continue after all these years. Talks between the government of India and the NSNIM, Isaac Muiva, resumed on August 23rd in Delhi. Reports said NSNIM General Secretary Muiva had met with the Indian government's representative A.K. Mishra too. Muiva and other top leaders left for Delhi on August 19. On August 14, Muiva had reiterated that the demand for a Naga flag and constitution are parts of the idea of sovereignty for the Naga people. So during the talks, according to reports between the two sides in Delhi on August 23rd, sources say discussions on core issues were taken up. We do not know what the core issues were so far, but the aspects of flag and a separate constitution are understood. Discussions on how to respect and accommodate each other's rights and interests pertaining to the use of flag was also reportedly part of the discussions, ladies and gentlemen. It's a time to look cool. Some of my colleagues here also came in looking cool with shades. Unfortunately, if you are too much into shades, I think you'd run into a lot of problems. Those days we were told that when you look at someone infected by conjunctivitis, you would get it too, you would be infected too. So we used to always try our best not to look at anyone with conjunctivitis. So I mean that this is the latest virus that is making rounds in Nagaland, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in recent memories, schools in 4 districts of Nagaland, Mon, Dimapur, Newland, and Chumuginima were shut till August 26th. That should be today. Yeah, that should be today. Due to the surge in conjunctivitis cases among school-going children. Ladies and gentlemen, school education authorities in Nagaland said earlier that the outbreak of conjunctivitis cases among children forced the school authorities to close. This virus seems to be the only one that makes people look cool when sick. Let's check out the next news, ladies and gentlemen. August 23rd, Wednesday, brought death to Mizoram when an under-construction railway bridge collapsed in the Sairang area about 20 kilometers from Aizawl in Mizoram. Ladies and gentlemen, the death toll was stated at 22. Some reports said it was around 23 or so. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees from the Prime Minister's Relief Fund to the next of kin of the deceased. A post on the official handle of the Prime Minister's office on Twitter, or now known as X, informed further that 50,000 rupees each will also be provided to the injured. Earlier reports said at least 17 workers were killed after the under construction railway bridge collapse in Mizoram's Aizawl district on Wednesday morning, police had said on Wednesday. India is a space power now, and the celebrations continue across the country, ladies and gentlemen. The lander module of the Indian Space Research Organization's third lunar mission, Chandrayaan-3, launched on July 14, successfully landed on the moon's surface on August 23. Ladies and gentlemen, this makes India only the 4th country after the erstwhile USSR, the United States, and China achieving landing on the lunar surface. With a successful landing, India also became the first country to land near the moon's south pole. The chief of the mercenary group Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, was reportedly killed in a plane crash north of Moscow. His name was listed as a passenger on the private jet which crashed, killing all 10 people on board. Russian authorities had said earlier Prigozhin was seen as the biggest challenge to Russian President Vladimir Putin's authorities since he came to power. The United States President Joe Biden has said he is not surprised at the news that Prigozhin may have died in a plane crash in Russia. There's not much that happens in Russia that Putin's not behind. That's what the United States President said. An employee of the interstate bus terminus in Dimapur was found killed at the station on August 24th. Following the discovery of the body, the Dimapur police said to have found CCTV footage reportedly showing the employee chasing after a person who is believed to be the murder suspect. The Dimapur police gave updates on the case on August 25th. On August 24th, the police found a dead body of a person who was later identified as one Hoseto Yepto, 58 years, of Akapa in Zeneboto district. He was working as a chowkidar of the ISPD. The police said the police found CCTV footage in which the deceased was seen running after the murder suspect inside the complex during the wee hours of August 24th. That's what the authorities said. The police suspected that the victim was killed while he was trying to nab the intruder. The suspect was later identified as one Nok Ye Konyak from Yuchong village in Mon district. The Konyak Union said Nok Ye Konyak was a drug addict and a habitual offender. That's the statement of the union. Interestingly, the Konyak Union also referred to the killing of a TZ student leader, Ahua Konyak, who was also killed by an alleged drug battler on May 25th. The union highlighted the perceived growing instances of drug abuse in the state and urged the government of Nagaland to start taking effective measures to combat the drug scourge in the state. Generally, the 80s generation in Nagaland is believed to be the first Naga generation to have been introduced to substance abuse. After a quiet time during the 90s and the early 2000s, drug addiction seems to be making a comeback of some sort. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting to start to hear a lot about drug addiction and young people engaged in drug abuse. This needs a policy attention, not just criminal enforcement, ladies and gentlemen. Those were the top news stories of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Keep watching Hornbill TV and we'll be bringing you more news and updates later. I'm Al Nguli. See you next time.